Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the King Angel Show. We're doing some true crime early morning today. I'm Angel, a San Francisco Bay Area live streamer, content creator here on YouTube and Twitch. Also on Facebook as well. You know where to find me, all across social media. Twitter, it's X, I guess. Threads, Discord, at the King Angel Show. We watch movies, album listens, a little bit of everything. Have a Patreon as well, $2 a month. Best way that you can support me. You can use your Amazon Prime over on Twitch as well. Hope you're having a great day today. Happy, Saturday? Happy Saturday. Really quickly before we start, I was supposed to go live yesterday. Had it all set up for 6 p.m. And when I ate lunch, that was after Coffee, the News, and Us, I tried an edible. And let's just say it didn't go as planned. It completely knocked me out. I was surprised that I was going to sleep that much. I didn't even notice. It's like one of those sleeps that you just kind of close your eyes. I was playing something and I kind of closed my eyes really quickly, and then all of a sudden it's like 7:30, and yeah, I apologize for that. It's completely my fault. I will make it up to you. So Monday I will have a special Labor Day true crime episode that will be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So join the Discord, King Angel Show, like I mentioned before. I will confirm and post an event link as well. Later on today, if you're watching the stream, I'll be playing some games. We can watch some true crime as well today, or watch a movie. We watched The Flash yesterday, and let me tell you, I completely understand why that movie was a flop. And wow, probably one of the worst superhero movies I've seen so far. DC needs to do something about their situation really quickly. Can you listen to this cat is really insistent. I don't understand. But yeah. We'll go ahead and we're going to start the show early today because I'm going out to lunch with wifey today. So, yeah. Looking forward to that. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch over to the other screen. Let me get this cat to stop scratching on the door, and we will start with today's true crime episode. There's a bunch of really interesting True Crime Daily articles posted on their website. So, looking forward to it. It's going to be pretty interesting. Not going to say amazing or anything because it is true crime at the end of the day, but we're going to learn about what's happening all across the country. All right, I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. It means the world to me. Let me open while I have it here. I don't have YouTube chat open. I'll just pop that out real quick. One sec. Hope everyone's having a great day. Like I mentioned before, happy Saturday. This cat, jeez, insistent, very insistent. It's crazy. Let's see. Going into Twitch. Gonna open Twitch chat as well. I don't know what's going on with my stream element. Doesn't seem to be working. Crazy. Sweet. Chat is open. Let me quickly say good morning. Same here, good morning as well. I mean, it is 9:54 a.m. here in Northern California, so yeah. All right, we're gonna switch over to the other screen. Let me get this cat to stop scratching on the door, and we will start today's true crime episode. I'll leave the music on for a little bit until I do this, but I will... Oops. I'll take myself off. Wow. All right. Let me put this camera back. It's too much. Sometimes I just can't do it like that. He is a very insistent cat, dude. You've heard me talk about it before, so I don't want to bore you with that. But we're starting off with a very interesting case today. This is a True Crime Daily. We are heading to Philadelphia. Title says, 12-year-old boy found fatally shot in Philadelphia trash can with plastic around his head. This was published September 1st, 2023. And it says, police are investigating a homicide after a sanitation worker discovered a 12-year-old boy's body inside a trash can with a gunshot wound to the head. In a press briefing, August 31st, Philadelphia Police Staff Inspector Ernest Ransom said a Philadelphia Housing Authority sanitation worker went to the 5500 block of Cherry Street on August 22nd at around 8 a.m. to collect trash. The worker picked up a container and put it inside the truck, then drove the truck back to a Philadelphia Housing Authority, where it was left overnight. The worker used the same truck the next morning and returned to the 5500 block of Cherry Street to pick up additional trash. At some point during the commute, the plastic container fell. When the worker went to pick it up, he found the body of a male with plastic wrapped around his head and his body enclosed in a comforter. The worker called police and officials arrived at the scene, where paramedics officially declared the victim deceased. Ransom said the medical examiner conducted an autopsy August 24th and determined the male suffered a gunshot wound to the right side of his head. He was most likely deceased for 24 to 36 hours before he was found. Investigators were unable to immediately identify the victim. On August 29th, detectives handed out flyers in the area and described the clothes he was wearing when he was found. Later that day, members contacted the medical examiner's office, who then shared photos of the boy. Relatives positively identified him as 12-year-old Hezekiah Bernard. Investigators do not know where Bernard was shot and killed. Ransom said he was brutally killed and placed in a trash can. Detectives don't know much about Bernard's life, but Ransom explained he was in the care of DHS. Damn. Okay, let's check out.
First and foremost, any questions pertaining to Mr. Hezekiah Bernard?
So this is the statement from the police department. This was posted yesterday. And the title is Boy 12 found dead in trash can had been shot, Philadelphia police say.
While he was under the care of DHS, should be referred to DHS. I will only be speaking about the homicide investigation that is ongoing. So now I'm going to give you some details. On August 22nd, while on the 5500 block of Cherry Street at approximately 8 a.m., a housing authority sanitation worker removed a plastic trash container and placed that container inside a PHA sanitation truck. The sanitation truck container was driven to PHA facility located at 5000 block of Haverford Avenue, where it was housed overnight. On August the 23rd, that same PHA employee drove the sanitation truck with the container back to the 5500 block of Cherry Street to gather more trash. During the drive, the container overturned and the remains of a male were observed inside that container with a plastic wrapped around the head with a comforter over him. Police and medical personnel were contacted and arrived on scene and officially pronounced the male dead. On August 24th, an autopsy was conducted by personnel from the medical examiner's office, and it was discovered that the decedent suffered from a gunshot wound to the right side of the head. The decedent at the time was wearing a white shirt, black shorts, white socks, and black and white sneakers. Several attempts were made to identify the decedent by the Philadelphia Department of Records and Identification Unit, along with the medical examiner's office. That yielded negative results. On August the 29th, homicide detectives distributed flyers in the area where the decedent was found. Those flyers depicted what the decedent was wearing at the time. On August 29th at approximately 4 p.m., family members of the decedent were made aware of the information that the was distributed by homicide detectives. Then they contacted the medical examiner's office. The decedent, through photographs which were provided by the medical examiner's office, was emailed to the family members. And the members identified the decedent once again as Mr. Hezekiah Bernard, a 12-year-old black male.
Oh, okay. I said the name wrong.
The
I'm
estimated
sorry.
time of death of Mr. Bernard was between the hours of 24 and 36 hours, prior to being discovered on August the 23rd. We need the help of the public to identify the offenders in this investigation. Again, Mr. Bernard was 12 years old. He was brutally killed and placed in a trash can. The focus of this investigation is the swift apprehension of those involved in this senseless death. Have any questions? Right now, we don't know where he was shot at. All we know is where we discovered the body. That is correct. That's based on the medical examiner. Well, that's part of the investigation, which is obviously ongoing. From the information I gather, that's going to be unknown at this. I would just say it's an investigation still ongoing.
Have you spoken to his biological family?
The investigators have.
And he was not in the care of his biological family at the time?
That I cannot discuss. Again, those kind of questions should be directed to DHS.
I think what really strikes everyone that was talking in the neighborhood, everyone that's heard about it, even when we're walking into this conference, is the brutality and the age of the victim. What does that do for your detectives or investigators, and how does that motivate and drive you to find out what happened?
I mean, it was definitely intentional. At least we can agree on that part.
As we normally do with any unfortunate homicide. But it hits close to home because most of us have children. You hate to say internalize it, but we understand and we feel like there's some sense of justice that need to be served. And we push hard to find these individuals involved in this killing.
Inspector, what perspective you get with the case where it stands right now? Is there any video that has come into discovery that helps you track this young man's movements in and around the neighborhood? What kind of things might you have that even if the department might be putting that out at some point? Anything that we can sort of ascertain where the investigation is?
Well, what I can say is this: we're constantly doing this investigation. It's still ongoing. Any video that we have that we can put out there, we'll definitely send it to Public Affairs and we'll distribute it to you.
So anything on?
No, we have none of that stuff.
Is there anything you can share about what you believe or what you gathered about prior to the discovery of his body in the dumpster, about his life or anything in the case?
There's nothing I can disclose in terms of his life because we really don't know much about his life. What we do know is we found a young man in a trash container, and our job now is to investigate thoroughly and find out what exactly happened.
I'm sorry, could you remember you said the dumpster was taken by someone, trash collector, and then was taken back to the facility and that's when it discovered the remains?
So what happens with DHS, from my understanding, they collect the trash at that particular facility. They take it to their facility at 5000 block of Haverford. Now, they go back to fill it up with more trash. At the time during the transportation back to that location, the trash container flipped over, and then that's when they discovered the remains and immediately notified the police.
Again, the condition of the remains was that or
It was a plastic type of wrap around his head.
he was shot a single time in the head.
That's what we got from the medical examiners.
Yikes. Yeah, you could definitely tell that was, oh no. Sorry, I left the music on. My bad. That happens to me a lot. I can only imagine the dissonance between what he was saying and like the background music on. I apologize. My bad. I only had that for the intro, but I forgot to take it off for this. But it is muted now, so moving on. Everything should be silent except for my voice and what we'll hear, obviously. So apologize for that. But yeah, you could definitely tell that this was completely intentional. seems like it was some sort of, I mean, just based off of my opinion, off of what I read, yeah, it kind of seems like it was definitely done on purpose, and like they really wanted to complete the whole ordeal, because not so much the gunshot wounds, but adding to that the plastic wrapped around his head. That's crazy. All right, moving on to the next one. We're going to Tennessee. Jeez. It says, Tennessee woman fatally shoots 4-year-old girl allegedly while teaching her firearm safety. True Crime Daily. This was posted August 31st, 2023. And this is in Rockwood, Tennessee. And it says, a woman is facing murder and child abuse charges after she shot and killed a 4-year-old girl while she claimed she was teaching her about firearm safety. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced special agents are looking into the August 27th death of a 4-year-old Evangeline Gunter after the 9th Judicial District Attorney General Russell Johnson asked them to join the investigation. Law enforcement officials arrested 25-year-old Brianna Gale Runians and booked her into the Rowan County Jail, where she is being held on $1.5 million bonds for murder and aggravated child abuse. Johnson said in a recorded statement, Runians could face 15 to 25 years in prison for aggravated child abuse and up to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 51 years for murder. According to Johnson, one of Evangeline's siblings witnessed the fatal shooting. According to arrest warrants cited by WBIR-TV, Runians allegedly told investigators she put the gun to Evangeline's chest in order to show her how to safely use a gun. But then when she pulled the trigger, the gun went off. A 7-year-old and Runian's girlfriend who were in the room at the same time said Runians made Evangeline and the 7-year-old girl stand in the corner because the young girls ate her girlfriend's food. They also, reportedly did not wake up Runians and her girlfriend. WBIR reports Runians allegedly hit Evangeline and the 7-year-old with a sandal before sending them to corners of the room. Runians allegedly took out the magazine from the firearm, told Evangeline to approach her, and shot her. The girlfriend heard the gunshot, which sent the bullet through a glass, causing it to shatter near the other child. Runians and her girlfriend drove Evangeline to a Walgreens parking lot where they met paramedics, who transported her to a hospital. Evangeline was pronounced dead when she got to Rowan Medical Center. According to WBIR, Runians is best friends with Evangeline's mother. The mom told WBIR, Runians was helping me take care of my children while I can get a house underneath my feet, a car running, just so I can make it to and from work. Evangeline died just days before her 5th birthday on September 5th, which will also be the same day as her funeral. So she lied. I mean, just like off the bat, she lied about the reason why it happened, because it's allegedly while teaching her firearm safety, but she intentionally put the gun on the little girl's chest and pulled the trigger. Because, quote unquote, the gun went off. Yeah, when you pull the trigger, that's what happens. Because it apparently didn't have a safety on. So, see, I may not know much about firearms, but I would think that, you know, people would put 2 and 2 together that you don't point gun. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I believe that's like one of the biggest rules in firearm safety, that you don't point a gun at someone else. Yikes. And just in this whole thing, the only one that's, I mean, obviously her family and whatnot, but it's 4-year-old. That is insane. I personally, and this is my own personal opinion, like, I'm not against teaching kids how to handle a firearm. Maybe there should be an age limit. Maybe it should be after a certain age where they're able to like actually hold the firearm correctly. What, maybe like 6, 7, possibly like after 8. I think that maybe after that age, their bodies are a little bit more resilient because obviously, you're shooting a handgun or a firearm in general. This is not the case. This was plain old murder. Like, she intentionally did that, and that is crazy, dude. Wow. All because they ate her girlfriend's food. Unbelievable. Okay, let's see. We'll check out some news. This is off of WBIR.com. Title says, biological parents speak after woman charged with shooting and killing 4-year-old Rowan County girl. Crazy.
New today, we are learning more about the 4-year-old shot and killed in Rockwood yesterday. 10 News reporter Lauren Davis spoke with the child's biological parents today.
Neighbors in Rockwood and all over Roane County had a shocking murder on Sunday when right up this hill, 4-year-old Evangeline Gunter was shot and killed. 25-year-old Brianna Runyons has been charged with murder and aggravated child abuse. According to the arrest warrants, Runyons may have led investigators to believe she was demonstrating firearm safety to the 4-year-old. She reportedly pressed the barrel of the gun to the girl's chest after removing the gun magazine, and when she pulled the trigger, the gun fired, killing the girl.
My mother got a hold of me, telling me that the person that was taking care of my daughter was banging on her door telling me to get myself to the hospital.
Evangeline wasn't in her biological parents' custody at the time. She was at her custodial guardian's home when she was shot.
I wish I could have been a better mother for her to pay attention, but it was a court decision and everything that we had done this for, and this is what happens.
Evangeline's parents want everyone to be safe when they have firearms around kids, with the hopes that no other parents have to go through this.
Don't have your guns out. If you're supposed to be gun smart, don't have your guns out.
Especially near children, and treasure them.
September 5th would have been Evangeline's 5th birthday. That's why her family wants to hold a birthday party and vigil to celebrate her birthday and also honor her memory. In Roane County, I'm Lauren Davis.
Evangeline's parents.
I don't know. Because that was intentional. So I don't know if I agree with... maybe that was before investigators were able to put the pieces of the puzzle together and figure out that it was actually intentional. And the babysitter literally shot that girl dead. Very sad. Very sad. Okay, we'll move on to another case. We're going to Louisiana. This says, a Louisiana woman accused of stabbing grandfather in the face during argument over her hygiene habits. True Crime Daily, published August 31st, 2023. And this is in Keithville, Louisiana. It says, a 22-year-old woman was arrested this week after she allegedly stabbed her grandfather in the face because they got into a fight over her hygiene habits. In a statement, the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office said deputies responded to a residence on the 3900 block of Fountain Blue Road on August 29th due to a domestic dispute. Carrington Harris reportedly told investigators she and her grandparents started arguing because they, quote-unquote, asked her to shower. After they requested Harris to wash herself, she reportedly damaged the inside of the home and shut off the power. Her grandparents tried and attempted to restrain her, but then Harris allegedly found a knife and stabbed her grandfather in the face. He was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment, and the sheriff's office did not have an update on his condition. Following the attack, Harris ran into the woods and hid for several hours, until deputies found her near another home in the area. Harris was arrested on charges of domestic abuse battery and domestic abuse battery with a dangerous weapon. Should have taken that shower. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, it's the same thing. It's crazy how they post it on Facebook. I feel like they should have their own website to post these things, but it's just very odd that they post it on Facebook. But oh well, who am I to judge? We're going to Texas. This one says, Texas man convicted of fatally beating girlfriend's son, bleaching and abandoning his body. Yeesh. True Crime Daily, August 30th, 2023 was when this was published. And we're going to Wichita Falls, Texas. And it says, a 35-year-old man was found guilty of killing his girlfriend's 11-year-old son after the jury deliberated for only 15 minutes. The Wichita Falls Times Record News reports a jury convicted Corey Trumbull of capital murder Tuesday, August 29th, for the 2020 death of 11-year-old Logan Klein. He will be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Trumbull's public defender reportedly called Trumbull a sadistic bastard, but said Trumbull didn't kill Klein on purpose. Therefore, the jury should only convict him of felony murder rather than capital murder. His attorney argued Trumbull sought to keep Klein alive in order to torture him. Klein was extremely malnourished at the time of his death and was 40 pounds under the normal weight for a child his age. He died from blunt force trauma and had injuries all over his body. According to KAUZ-TV, Trumbull forced Klein to sleep under the sink and the bed, and Klein's sister often had to clean up blood from the abuse. Klein suffered from seizures and brain bleeds as a result, which caused him to be immobile and nonverbal. Wichita Falls police discovered Klein's remains in a car in February 2020, but the Wichita Falls Times Record News reports he was killed in December 2019. Following his death, Trumbull reportedly put ice all over the body, bleached it, and then dumped his body in the car. On February 26, 2020, Las Vegas Metro Police Department officers were called to a Walgreens at 3375 Glen Avenue after Johnson ran in and said she was scared and hiding from a male, adding that her 15-year-old daughter was in the car with Trumbull. An officer spoke with Trumbull, who denied hitting Johnson, but said she had a black eye and an injured lip. He claimed she ran away for 3 days, then called him to pick her up. He admitted to detectives that he and Johnson moved to Las Vegas and started doing illegal drugs. Johnson reportedly told police Trumbull hit her with a stick, and another time wrapped a metal chain dog leash around her neck and strangled her. He beat her, and she suffered multiple broken bones. According to the Wichita Falls Times Record News, during this relationship, Trumbull allegedly started a polyamorous relationship with an underage girl. Trumbull is reportedly a white supremacist and told the girl it was important to grow the race. Jail records show Johnson also faces charges of murder and tampering with evidence. Hope he enjoys calling his cellmate daddy in jail, because that's 100% what's going to happen. And you know what? I'm all here for it. Oh well. You know, they say that you shouldn't wish harm upon people. You know who said that? People that did shit. Because you can most definitely 100% wish someone harm. Maybe not death, I guess. I mean, if you want to be squeaky clean about it. But you can definitely wish someone harm and wrong. Hell yeah. I hope this person gets called daddy, has to call someone daddy in prison, become someone's bitch. 100%. I hope whatever time that he spends in jail is the most miserable, horrible, worst time of his life. I mean, a lot to unpack from everything that we just read here. I mean, what was it? He not only did he commit the crime of killing the kid, but he reportedly put ice all over the body, bleached it, and then dumped it dumped his body in the car. So there's no possible way that he can claim insanity or, not guilty, because not only did he commit the first crime, but then he did everything subsequent to it, which are just additional things as well. So additional charges. Yikes. Check this out. Information should not be behind a paywall. I don't understand why. People just don't understand that. Wow. This is a newschannel6now.com. I'm going to see if there's a video here that we can check out real quick, but I don't know if you can see, but it's maybe like 11 or 12 in Texas right now, and it's at 92 degrees. It's hot. Yeah, this has no video. Well, at least it's not 100 and something. This is his arrest report, so there is no video. I mean, there would have been one, and we would have been able to see it, but the Wichita Falls Times Record News is behind the paywall because they can't, or they refuse to give information out, which is so weird, but yeah, that's where we are. We're heading to Massachusetts now. True Crime Daily. Title says, husband named as killer of dismembered handless woman found in Cape Cod in 1974. Published August 29th, 2023. And it says, investigators officially closed the case of a woman who was found dead and nearly decapitated nearly 50 years ago in Provincetown and identified the suspect in her murder. In October 2022, the FBI positively identified the woman, who was only known as the Lady of the Dunes for decades, as Ruth Marie Terry. She was found deceased in a sand dune July 26, 1974, with her hands cut off and her head nearly severed from her body. Investigators used investigative genealogy to identify Terry, who lived in Tennessee. The FBI said Terry suffered a blow to the head and was most likely killed several weeks prior to her discovery. According to the Cape and Islands District Attorney's Office, Massachusetts State Police took over the investigation from Provincetown Police in 1982. Terry's skull was put into police custody and not buried with her other remains. Investigators sent parts of the skull to labs for testing, and in 2021, Othran was able to create a DNA profile that eventually led to a positive identification. The Chief Medical Examiner's Office issued Terry's death certificate April 5th. The District Attorney's Office said Massachusetts State Police detectives homed in on Terry's husband, Guy Moldavan, or Moldavan, I'm sorry. The two wed in 1973 or 1974 and traveled to Tennessee to visit her family. Moldavan and Terry traveled in the summer of 1974, but he returned alone. Moldavan reportedly indicated to witnesses that Miss Terry had passed away, but told her brother they had a fight during their honeymoon and he had not heard from his wife again. NBC Boston reports Moldavan and Terry got married in Reno, Nevada, only a few months before she was killed. According to the statement, Moldavan was allegedly believed to be the prime suspect in his ex-wife and stepdaughter's disappearance in Seattle in 1960. The district attorney's office said investigators determined that Mr. Moldavan was responsible for Miss Terry's death in 1974. Moldavan died in 2002. In November 2022, Massachusetts State Police announced they were seeking information about Moldavan, who also went by the name, Raul Guy Rockwell and Guy Moldavan Rockwell. Detectives looked into the 1960 disappearance of his wife and stepdaughter and later located human remains in a septic tank of their home. The FBI arrested him for unlawful flight and he was convicted of grand larceny. However, he never faced any charges relating to the Seattle killings. A news article dated December 1st, 1960, says Moldavan was arrested in New York City after Manzanina Mearns and her 18-year-old daughter, Dolores Ann Mearns' bodies were found mutilated in the septic tank. Detectives reportedly found dismembered remains and other parts of human tissue. Dolores and Montanita disappeared April 1st, 1960. Moldavan was 76 years old when he died. Huh. I mean, at least it was identified, but sweet justice was not served in this case because he died. If you've seen the show before, you know that I'm a huge fan of cases where they think that they're getting away with it, but surprise, surprise, they end up finding out, like investigators and police end up finding out who the person was that committed the crime, and they arrest them and try them. Oh, sweet justice. I mean, we can't bring the victim back, but at least the victim can rest easy knowing that the perpetrator is locked up behind bars. Yes. Certainly not this one. We're going to Alabama. True Crime Daily. The title says, Alabama mom allegedly wrapped newborn in mattress cover, put him in a trash while still alive. Published August 28th, 2023, and this is in Dothan, Alabama. An 18-year-old woman faces a capital murder charge after her newborn child was found dead inside a trash compactor and wrapped in a mattress protector. According to the Dothan Police Department, on August 28th, staff at Southeast Health called police after a woman came in and was attempting to recover a child she claimed she had left at their facility 11 days earlier. She reportedly said she left her child with an employee in the lobby. The female, who police identified as Jakayla Ashanti Williams, allegedly said she gave birth August 13th at her home on Tate Drive, then drove to the hospital, handed him to an employee, and left. Police said she claimed she gave up the child because she did not want the child and it cost too much money. Williams' family reportedly did not know she was pregnant or that she gave birth until August 23rd, when they went to the hospital trying to find whoever Williams handed the child to. As police started looking into the case, investigators reportedly determined Williams did not go to the hospital on August 24th, and she corroborated that statement. According to police, Williams allegedly said she put her newborn son in a blanket and left him in an apartment complex's dumpster while he was still alive. Williams reportedly had no connection or affiliation with the apartment complex where she left her newborn child at. Investigators found the dumpster with a trash compactor attached to it, and they took it to a nearby landfill. Police said investigators discovered a newborn child's body wrapped in a mattress protector and placed inside a zipped duffel bag. Officials sent the remains to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences for positive identification. Williams was arrested and charged with capital murder. Wow, that is really sad. That is really sad. Wow. I mean, yikes. I mean, she could have taken it to the fire department, but there could have been so many other things that she could have done as opposed to, this. It's crazy. Right. Move on to the next one. This one doesn't have a video or anything. And again, I don't go into the links there in the bottom unless I know it's a news report or some type of video, because they take the information from those websites and they just repost it. So it would basically be me reading you the same thing that we just read about the case. Okay, these are the ones that were on top. Let us see. We're going to Utah. True Crime Daily. This says, Utah parenting vloggers arrested after child found wrapped in duct tape, malnourished. Published September 1st, 2023. And this is in Evans, Utah. I hope I said that correctly. A woman with a parenting YouTube channel and her business partner were arrested on child abuse charges after one of the vlogger's children escaped and called for help. According to the Santa Clara Ivins Public Safety Department on Wednesday, August 30th, at just before 11 a.m. Someone called 911 to report a juvenile who sought help and appeared to be emaciated and malnourished. The caller said the child had open wounds and duct tape around the extremities and was asking for food and water. EMS arrived and transported the child to a nearby hospital due to the victim's severe condition. Police learned they were likely other children in a similar situation, so they went to a home and found another victim who looked malnourished. The child was also transported to a hospital. According to the statement, investigators reportedly located evidence matching some of the injuries found on one of the children. As a result, 4 other children were removed from the home and placed into custody of the Department of Children and Family Services. Police arrested Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt, and KSL.com reports they were each charged with 6 counts of child abuse. According to the arrest affidavit cited by KSL.com, Frankie's 12-year-old son climbed out of a window at Hildebrandt's house and ran to a neighbor for help. His wrists and ankles were reportedly bound with duct tape. The affidavit says the boy was placed on a medical hold due to his deep lacerations from being tied up with a rope and from his malnourishment. Frankie is reportedly the mother of the 2 children who were hospitalized, and police allege Frankie had knowledge of the abuse, malnourishment, and neglect. Frankie started a YouTube channel in 2015, which grew to over 2 million subscribers, though there was controversy about Frankie and her husband's strict parenting rules. The channel was taken off the site earlier this year. On her website, Hildebrandt describes herself as a mental fitness and relationship expert. Hildebrandt and Frankie had their own YouTube channel called Moms of Truth with Jody and Ruby, and they posted many of those clips on Instagram. KSL.com reports one of Frankie's daughters wrote on Instagram she was glad justice is being served and that she has been trying to contact Child Protective Services and police for years. Frankie and Hildebrandt are reportedly being held without bail. I mean, you should obviously never put your trust in anyone, but, I mean, you would think they look like regular old moms that you would see parading around in Target and whatnot. It's crazy. You know what else I think is pretty interesting is like the hive mentality. And the fact that they are 2 completely different people, yet they shared that same weird thing. I mean, obviously illegal that they were doing with the children. Like, who knows if that was just a case that they were doing that was found that day. Like, who knows what other things they were doing to those kids. So that's one. Second, it's interesting that this isn't the first time that we've heard cases about having to do with this type of situation, like horrible parenting and whatnot, and like the kids end up escaping, and Child Protective Services doesn't seem to do their jobs, yet they pop up out of nowhere, I guess. I mean, I don't have kids, but I see the videos on TikTok and whatnot of like people that can just call CPS and like they'll go in that situation, but who was the person that was calling? One of Frankie's daughters had already tried contacting Child Protective Services and police for years, and she was ignored. Yet the evidence literally went through a window and ran for help. And that's when they were like, oh yeah, I guess something really, really is happening. But why wasn't that person believed? Yikes. Well, sucks to be them. I hope they are charged with as many charges as possible. So these are more pictures of them. This is from KSL.com. They don't have a video, but I'm trying to see if they have any other information about any of the 2 psychopaths that we just saw. And I'm just saying psychopath not because I know that they have any sort of mental issue or anything, but just the whole situation in and of itself. This is not a normal person that does this to kids. So that's the only reason why I say that. All right. Okay, so the boys, ankles and wrists had duct tape on them. The boy had asked the neighbor for food and water. Okay, so listen to this. Sorry. I was reading this specific paragraph. So I'll start from this point. It says, police then found a 10-year-old girl in Hildebrandt's home who also appeared to be malnourished. So this was after the little boy escapes from the window and asked the neighbor for help. Police, after seeing the child, went to the home of Hildebrandt to try to figure out what the hell was going on and see if there were any other kids that were in that situation. So that's where we are. Police say both children were staying in Hildebrandt's home and were under her direct care. Miss Hildebrandt requested a lawyer and did not speak with us. Once given her charges, Miss Hildebrandt informed me the children should never be allowed around any other kids, police wrote. The arrest report refers to a video that was posted on YouTube this week that appeared to be filmed in Hildebrandt's basement. Police say the mother of the two children, Frankie, is in the video, showing she had knowledge of the abuse, malnourishment, and neglect, according to the affidavit. It says, Frankie is known for her 8 Passengers YouTube channel, which had millions of followers. The videos follow the lives of Frankie, her husband, and 6 children, who are originally from Springville. Okay, so it was obvious that she was... Okay, so it says, for the past 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Frankie for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. Her sister, Elle Mecham, posted on her Instagram account. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the number 1 priority. Ruby Frank's daughter, Cherie Frank, who is also a blogger, posted a picture of on her Instagram of an officer standing near what appears to be an unmarked police vehicle while holding a rifle, with the caption, "Finally." Today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and child protective services for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead, she wrote. Not only, again, she did her part, and they ignored her. And all this happened, again, because one of the kids, the boy, went through a window and went to his neighbor to go ask for help. If that would not have happened, they would have still been in that same situation, because no one believed her. I don't understand. That's like the weirdest thing. All right, moving on. We're going to Virginia. True Crime Daily. This is how Virginia husband arrested after missing wife's remains are found in woods. This is in Lynchburg, Virginia, and it says a 21-year-old man was arrested after his wife's remains were found in a wooded area several days after she was reported missing. 21-year-old Avriel Hooks was reported missing to the Lynchburg Police Department on August 23rd after her family last saw her the night prior at approximately 8 p.m. Police said her disappearance was suspicious because she did not have any communication with her family. On August 29th, 6 days after she was reported missing, Lynchburg police investigators discovered human remains in Amherst County and said they identified a person of interest relating to her disappearance. Her husband, Michael Perry III, was arrested August 31st on charges of second-degree murder and unlawful disposal of a dead body. WDBJ-TV reports Perry and Hooks have a 5-month-old 5-month-old son together. Blue Ridge Regional Jail records show Perry is being held without bond. Good. That he's being held without bond. Hope he stays there. Let's see. Maybe there's a quick video here. This is WDBJ7.com from Roanoke, Virginia.
This story we've been...
Sorry, title says family remembers Avriel Hooks, police charge father of her child with murder.
Been working on all day long. Police have confirmed Avriel Hooks was found dead a week after she had originally gone missing.
Yeah, police arrested the father of her child and charged him with her murder. Hook's family and police have been searching for the 20-year-old for days. WDBJ7's Patsy Montesinos has more tonight.
Last Tuesday, Ashley Pittman drove her daughter Avriel Hooks home, not knowing it would be the last time she would see her.
She was a firecracker, and she was my wild child, and beautiful in every way.
7 days later, Pittman is now grieving the loss of her child. Lynchburg Police Department confirmed 20-year-old Hooks was murdered. Her body was found in a wooded area in Amherst County after an extensive search on Tuesday afternoon.
I'm still kind of coping a little bit. It's hard to even, I'm more worried about my mom, to be honest, not myself, because at the end of the day, I grieve. Everyone grieves the way they're at their own pace.
Police confirm Michael Perry III has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder and unlawful disposal of a dead body. Hook's family says Perry is the father of their 5-month-old son.
If you're in an abusive situation, don't let him think, or her, don't let anyone make you think people don't care. No one cares about you. It's the biggest lie they could ever tell you. There are so many people that care.
Pittman says becoming a mother was Hook's greatest achievement. The love for little Michael inspired Hooks to turn her life around. Pittman wants her daughter to be an example for other women.
And it didn't matter her mistakes. You can make it right. You can change anything.
The Hill City has surrounded the family with love and support during these difficult times, something Pittman is grateful to have.
I didn't know the community cared as much as they did. So this has been the biggest smile I've been able to put on my face in days, to know so many people really cared to help.
The family says they will look to God for strength to be able to move forward without Hooks. In Lynchburg, Patsy Montesinos, WDBJ7.
Damn. Hope the family finds peace and they're able to try to live some type of semblance of life. Hey man, grief can destroy people. It's crazy. We're going to Oregon. True Crime Daily. Title says attempted murder suspect in custody after escaping from mental hospital while wearing leg shackles. Posted September 1st, 2023. We are in Portland, Oregon. This says, state police apprehended a man who escaped from a mental hospital and stole a minivan while still fully shackled. According to Oregon State Police, on Wednesday, August 30th, Christopher Prey was transferred to the Oregon State Hospital, a psychiatric institution in Salem, after initially being placed in custody at the Multnomah County Jail on serious charges that included attempted murder. The same day, at approximately 10:45 p.m., Prey drove off in a white Dodge Caravan minivan and eluded law enforcement while driving on Interstate 5. He was still fully restrained with leg shackles, a belly chain, and another type of restraint that connected the three together. He was last seen wearing a white shirt, maroon sweatpants, and black slides. Law enforcement officials pursued the car but stopped due to safety concerns. On Friday, September 1st, Oregon State Police announced Portland Fire and Rescue and Portland Police were called to a pond at North Force Avenue and North Victory Boulevard after receiving a report about a potentially deceased person. Fire department officials started communicating with the person in the pond and told police they did not require backup. According to Oregon State Police, the person in the pond was stuck in the mud, approximately 75 feet from firm ground, and was buried up to their armpits. Officials used a rope and ladder to remove the man from the mud, which took about an hour. he was transported to a hospital and used a fake name, but a hospital employee reportedly noticed the man resembled Prey. The employee called Portland police, who arrived at the hospital and confirmed his identity. He was arrested and placed back into police custody. The Oregon Live reports Prey was on his way back to the Oregon State Hospital in the minivan from the emergency room due to an altercation with a fellow patient. One person was injured during Prey's escape. He was reportedly arrested in April for first-degree robbery and attempted murder for shooting a woman, March 12, 2022. 11 days later, he allegedly robbed an auto parts store in Portland and fired a gun. He also reportedly faces charges for allegedly assaulting a woman. Can't tell you the amount of like thrillers and horror movies that are based pretty much with the same plot. And like a few things change, I guess, and this is obviously 2023, but I remember reading I was a kid reading like short scary stories, and one always stuck with me, and it was it's pretty similar to the same case that we just read right now, but the guy has a dog. In this story, he has a dog, and but he first hears a report about someone that was an escapee from a mental hospital and whatnot, and everyone in the town was in high alert and whatnot, and the guy had a dog, and when he goes to sleep, he would always, I guess, sleep with his hand, down, like basically like falling to the side of the bed so that the dog could lick his hand, and that happened at night after he hears noises in the house, but he's assured that his dog is supposedly underneath the bed, and turns out that it is not his dog, but it's the person that escaped the mental hospital, because he finds his dog in the bathroom. Yeah, always stuck with me. I'm not saying this is what happened. Obviously, there was no he wasn't able to actually kill the person, but just the part of escaping the mental hospital. Because, I mean, let's be real. He had a belly chain on, he still had the leg shackles, and he had other types of restraints that connected all three. So he had the chain that would connect them all, and he still escaped. So if anything, we can at least give him, I guess, credit for trying. Side note, a very cool band that I listen to, they still make music, because they're called Salem. They are from Salem, Oregon. I'm always reminded of the band when they talk about that county or town. Let's move on. Let that pass. I've said it before. I live in a family complex. I am childless, but everyone around me is childful, I guess. And yeah, you'll probably hear them like walking around and stuff. They play around here. There's a basketball court pretty close, and there's like a whole play area, and it's a good thing summer's about to end and they're all going back to school, so it's wonderful. And it's great because Monday through Thursday, I won't say Friday because obviously they're not at school on Saturdays, but the kids have to go to sleep early because they have to go to school. So there's like the noise will only be until a certain hour, because after like 7 or 8 p.m. gotta be in bed. Silence. Oh, peace. I mean, I have no problem with them. You know, they're enjoying themselves and they're living their life. That's wonderful. I had a great childhood, so yeah. But I also can see the positive of that. You know, schools coming back into session. Peace after like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. You don't hear a thing around here. Oh, love it. I really greatly appreciate that. Not everyone does, but just wanted to give a little quick interjection there. It's just, I don't know if the microphone was able to capture the children talking. Sorry. We're going to Arkansas. True Crime Daily. Title says, Arkansas man serving life in prison who escaped on jet skis is caught in West Virginia. Published August 31st, 2023. And we are going to Lewisburg, West Virginia. U.S. Marshals apprehended a convicted felon, his wife, and his mom after they allegedly helped him escape from prison last year by fleeing on jet skis. The U.S. Marshals announced Tuesday, August 29th, that several law enforcement agencies arrested 39-year-old Samuel Hartman, his wife, 39-year-old Misty Hartman, his mother, 61-year-old Linda White, and White's boyfriend, 52-year-old Rodney Trent, at a Quality Inn in Lewisburg. Hartman escaped from the East Arkansas Regional Unit Prison August 12, 2022, while working in a field. White and Misty Hartman allegedly drove to the field in a pickup truck and fired shots at other people while Hartman ran into the car. Department of Corrections officers chased after the truck until they reached a point near the Mississippi River, which is when the Hartmans and White escaped onto 2 pre-staged jet skis. Officials in Mississippi found the abandoned jet skis on a riverbank. The 3 of them remained on the run for over a year until they were captured this week. According to the U.S. Marshals, Hartman was sentenced to life in prison in 2013 for raping his 14-year-old stepdaughter. Misty Hartman and White face charges relating to his escape, while Trent is accused of harboring a sex offender and helping the 3 fugitives while they hid from law enforcement. Arkansas State Police said in a statement, Hartman was sent back to Arkansas Department of Corrections custody, while Misty Hartman and White were booked into the Woodruff County Jail after arriving back in Arkansas. Trent remains in custody in West Virginia. State Police said they are conducting a comprehensive investigation. So let me get this straight. So he was in jail because he raped his 14-year-old stepdaughter. And his mother, her boyfriend, and his wife planned this whole thing to get a convicted child rapist out of jail. That is insane. It's like, but what? I'm confused. So you made all this, you did this whole elaborate plan to help a convicted rapist escape from prison. People are out of their damn mind. I hope they all get life in prison. Because just to recap, when Misty, which is the wife, and Linda, which is his mom, went to the prison, they shot. They were shots fired, so they were shooting into the prison while Hartman ran into the car, which is the rapist. They drove and escaped on the Mississippi River on 2 jet skis. It's not much of a comprehensive investigation if you found the jet skis. Guys, book them. Send them to jail. That's it. There's people that need. I mean, Society doesn't need this. No, are you serious? It's like, dude, look at them. Wow. Okay, this is the U.S. Marshals website. Okay. I mean, it's basically the same information. Really big. Can't say you didn't read the title there. U.S. Marshals Service. What do you mean? What does this mean? Samuel Harmon. Oh! Lovely. Oh, this is the Arkansas State Police YouTube channel. Everyone has a YouTube channel now. It's insane. Let's see this great video. I'm so happy right now because we're gonna get to see the rapist being booked. I hope they show the family too. Oh yes! Look at her. Oh, wonderful. That's mom. Hope you like jail, mom. Oh, that's wifey. Wife of the year. Look at that. Mind you, it was his 14-year-old stepdaughter. So, as far as we know, this could well be the little girl's mom. Because they haven't said the contrary. So, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But we could assume it is, that she is, just because we want to. And just hate on her. So, family, we'll do that. Mother of the year. Right there, look at her. Shame. Shame. Not so tough now. Not so tough now. I don't know. Yikes. Boo. What a bitch. Wow, they were all booked together. We are family. That would have been wonderful. Not much. Not much, but still wonderful to see. Why not? No other video. Now, I have a question. How did they get the jet skis and leave them abandoned like that? Did they buy those jet skis? I kind of feel like there's more to this than meets the eye, because, I mean, think about it. Who leaves jet skis like that? How much does a jet ski cost? So, a new jet ski typically costs around $6,000 on the low end of the spectrum, but higher end jet skis can cost close to $21,000. Okay, let's see. Let's see the used section. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So, Let's see. Okay, so this is from the JD Power website. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not going to enter my zip code. I'm not going to do that. Why? Autos, motorcycles. It's making it a lot harder than I thought. So, it says, how much should you pay for a used jet ski? Let's see, wholesale. Real world prices. Come on, man, just give me something. Give me just like something to something. Okay. Jet ski trailer. Okay, so I'm not gonna open Alibaba, but just seeing it here, it says used jet ski can range from $4,500 to $5,000. They bought 2 of them, or they rented 2, or they had 2. The whole point is that both jet skis were just left at the Mississippi River once they escaped. So that's like $12,000. That's, we'll be nice. We'll say $10,000 down the drain like that. How did they get this money? Like, what? I'm extremely confused, but wow. I mean, I guess they say family is everything, but wow, people took it to another level. It's insane. I hope they all get life in prison. Well, Samuel Hartman is serving life in prison. I hope the family as well serve life in prison. Oh boy. We're going to Miami. True Crime Daily. Title says, teen allegedly encouraged woman to hire hitman to kill her 3-year-old son. The kid is the problem. Published August 31st, 2023. And this is in Miami, Florida. And it says, an 18-year-old man was arrested for allegedly encouraging a woman to kill her 3-year-old son after she used a parody website to hire the hit. Jasmine Pies, 18, was arrested July 18th after she reportedly sent a request on rentahitman.com to target her son. NBC Miami reports Pies asked the hitman to get something done once and for all, and to have him be taken far, far away and possibly be killed, but ASAP. Pies allegedly sent the website photos of her 3-year-old and detailed his locations. The man who runs the site contacted Miami-Dade police, but they reportedly told him to contact Crime Stoppers. He eventually got through to a detective to look into the case after several tries, and Pies was taken into custody. Then, on Monday, August 28th, police arrested Gamaliel Sosa on charges of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and unlawful use of a communication device. NBC News reports, Sosa allegedly texted Pies, "The kid is a problem. I hope you see that all I ever wanted was to free you." He reportedly said he would think about coming back if she killed her son. Sosa was booked into custody and held on $15,000 bond. Pies' father told NBC Miami his daughter is not a monster. He said, "My daughter is a little girl who was born with health problems. She has liquid retained in her neck. She's had 12 surgeries. She lost the ability to move her face. She's been bullied in school. They called her the monster." Pies posted bond July 19th and is due back in court August 18th, while Sosa's next appearance is scheduled for September 27th. I feel like this is a part 2 to this same, because I feel like I read this before or about this case. If not, then we have already seen a case of someone that went into the same website, rentahitman.com, and tried to rent someone to kill her son. I think it is the same person. It looks like the same person, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to see if maybe any of the links down here are Okay, so it is. See, it is the same one. Because I remember reading this. It says July 20th, 2023. I do remember reading this case and going through it. So consider this one a part 2 of that case. Interesting. Let's see. I want to see the dad defending his daughter. Why? This is NBCMiami.com. Title says, "My daughter's not a monster. Dad defends Jasmine Baez. The mom accused of trying to hire hitman to kill toddler." I mean, if that's the hill you want to die on, my guy, fine. This was published July 20th, updated July 21st. I think should be episode 1 or 2 that has the same case that we read the other time that they published it. But the previous article that True Crime Daily published was just about her. They had not mentioned him. But in this one, which is part 2, they mentioned the boyfriend or whatever the hell he is, who is obviously manipulating her.
Well, here to the story that we've been talking about, the young woman accused of hiring a hitman to kill her 3-year-old son. Well, she's out on bond tonight, and her father is speaking only on 6 about the serious accusations she's facing.
Let's get to NBC6 reporter Christine Colon joining us with what that and Miami-Dade police have learned, Christian, in the wake of this very unique and troubling investigation.
Yeah, the father told us his daughter needs the medical attention. As for Miami-Dade police, they admit there was a delay in this case just because of how unique this story was, but they point out how quick a detective was put on the case, and eventually there was an arrest. 18-year-old Jasmine Baez walked out of jail without saying a word, but her dad speaking out, saying there's more to the story. My daughter is a little girl who was born with health problems. She has liquid retained in her neck. She had 12 surgeries. She lost the ability to move her face. She's been bullied in school. They called her the monster.
Really quickly, just want to point out,
School.
You have most likely seen
She lost the ability to move her face.
She is a really famous judge. I've seen countless videos of her on TikTok with different cases and whatnot. You know, I forgot her name though, but again, I may not remember the name, but that face is unforgettable. I think she's the same judge that had someone that went into the that was being accused of something that was the court date and whatnot, and it ended up being someone that she went to school with, and he starts like crying and whatnot. But that's one instance of when I saw her. I think she's also the one with the I think it was a defense. There was a woman that was not receiving feminine care in prison, and they hadn't even given her pants or anything like that, and she went to court that day like that, and I think she is the judge that tells them that they need to get her those things ASAP. Really good judge.
Bullied in school, they called her the monster. Police say Pius went on a parody website to seek a hitman to allegedly kill her 3-year-old son. That website owner called police to report it. Robert Inez tells us he called Miami-Dade non-emergency number 3 times, but they referred him to Crime Stoppers. However, on that 3rd call, that's when a detective was put on the case.
Because of the fact that it involved an online allegations. So that's what caused a little bit of a delay when he made him call a couple of times. But then once they were able to get a grasp on exactly what he was referring to and how this is playing out, that's when that call taker passed that information to the on-duty supervisor at our communications bureau.
Tonight, police admit there was a delay, but say they arrested the suspect in hours.
communications bureau has been in talks with us all day because of the fact that this is so bizarre, where we can utilize this now and create a best practice because of the fact that simply because you run into something that's a little bizarre and it's the first time you run into it doesn't mean you'll never run into it again.
And police say that 3-year-old was living with his grandma at the time because of how young Jasmine was when she had that child. Tonight we are learning he is safe conditions. DCF is now investigating this whole thing. As for Baez, she has a court hearing coming up next month.
Oh, not the court
Miami-Dade
hearing.
Police
The fact that
headquarters, Christian Colon, NBC 6
the
News.
kid's fine. Crazy. Let me tell you something. That website is genius. Genius, because I could only imagine the amount. Well, the last time we talked about this case, we actually saw that we read about that website, and they are in close contact with police because, unsurprisingly, there's a lot of people that really think that that's an actual website, and they can just, with a few clicks, hire a hitman to off someone. It's scary how many people fall for that, and they've had to call like law enforcement and get them involved because some of the things that are said and the intentions are like, holy shit. Oh yeah. Moving on. We are going to Illinois. True Crime Daily says Illinois man gets life for strangling 80-year-old with cord, stabbing her with scissors. Published August 30th, 2023, and this is in Springfield, Illinois. A judge sentenced a 50-year-old man to life in prison after he was convicted of strangling and stabbing his former neighbor to death. The Sangamon County State's Attorney's Office confirmed David Smith was sentenced in connection with the brutal murder of 80-year-old Donna Bricker. According to WAND-TV, a jury found Smith guilty in June after deliberating for under an hour. Smith reportedly used an electric cord to strangle Bricker by wrapping it around her neck multiple times, then stabbed her in the chest with scissors. Smith also tied Bricker's hands behind her back. Her cause of death was ligature strangulation with stabbing as a factor. Bricker was found dead in her home on the 700 block of West Elliott Street, January 6, 2019, after relatives became worried because she did not show up to court, the Springfield State Journal Register reports. Springfield police arrested Smith on March 14, 2019. Smith reportedly previously lived near Bricker. WAND reports Smith was previously convicted of crimes against the elderly. In 1994, he was found guilty of aggravated burglary and robbery because he broke into a 76-year-old woman's house. At the sentencing, Sangamon County Judge John Madonia told Smith, "You did all this after spending decades of your life in prison for an eerily similar offense. The court does not believe that you have rehabilitative potential that merits release from prison. The court needs to impose a sentence that protects the public from you forever." State Attorney Dan Wright said something similar, adding, "We are very pleased with the sentence that the court imposed today. Simply put, the defendant is a monster beyond any rehabilitative potential, and he received the only just sentence permitted by Illinois law." The amount of abuse towards the elderly is insane. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that case of the nurse that would, under her care, she killed 100 some odd elderly people. I mean, yeah. There's a lot of abuse towards the elderly. I'll tell you something, quick little short story about my own personal experience. My mom is elderly, and a few years back, she was in New York, and she was on her way to a doctor's appointment, but she stopped at the supermarket. It was actually those assigned vans that take the elderly to doctor's appointments or in this case, they actually took it to a supermarket. I guess she wanted to go buy something, and on her way out, someone was coming in through the double sliding doors, and she was coming out, and the person that was coming in, like, shouldered my mom really hard. Talk about a 90-something-year-old woman. She was like 80-something at that time, and yeah, she fell and broke her hip. It's crazy. Supermarket helped her out and whatnot, but that the person ran. Crazy. I mean, she's fine now, but nonetheless, there's a lot of abuse towards the elderly. Unnecessary too. I just spent your whole life, you're fucking 80-something years old, can't defend yourself. And a lot of it happens at nursing homes too. Elderly care facilities. It's crazy. Very sad. Very sad indeed. Let's see. Let's see if we can see something here. This is WANDTV.com. Title says, Jury convicts man of stabbing 80-year-old woman in Springfield. This was published June 28th, 2023. So it's been a while. It's been 2 months. But nonetheless, let's check it out.
A verdict is reached in the death of an elderly woman who was found strangled and stabbed in her Springfield home in 2019. David Smith of Springfield has been found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder. WAND's Carly Bronkema was in the courtroom today, and she has more on what happened.
It took the jury less than 40 minutes to find Smith guilty. They reviewed DNA evidence, testimony from several experts, and video from an interview that Smith did with police.
Wow, she looks determined.
We, the jury, find the defendant, David Smith, guilty of first-degree murder.
Justice for a family struggling for
Wow, the audio on this video is horrible. It's not me. I'm trying to put the volume up and down to not, like, explode your ears if you're hearing this on a headphone, or having to lower the volume because it's really loud. But it's the video in and of itself. I apologize for that. Or I apologize for not controlling the volume enough for it to not cause that. But this is their fault because they were the ones that recorded the video. Recorded and uploaded it, mind you.
answers for 4 years.
Mom was so sweet and so funny and so beautiful, and she helped everybody.
Smith could get a life sentence because the jury found the acts committed by him were particularly heinous and brutal.
If there are words in the English language to describe what David Smith did to Donna Bricker, you will see them on the face of those jury instructions. Exceptionally brutal. Heinous.
Very heinous.
Indicative of wanton cruelty.
That brutality is what the state's attorney said made this case so heart-wrenching for the family of Donna Bricker.
She is struggling so hard, and while that is happening, the defendant is pulling up with such force that Dr. Patterson testified it loosened her head from her body.
Holy
After sharing their
shit.
stories on the stand and seeing crime scene pictures of their mother, grandmother, and friend, the family says they are pleased with the guilty verdict.
I feel relieved, and now we can start healing, my kids can start healing, my grandkids, because all we felt is being angry, being sad, and now we know he'll never do this to anybody else.
Smith faces up to his natural life in prison. His sentencing is scheduled for August 29th. In Springfield, Carly Bronkema, WAND News.
To stay up to date on
It is Springfield, Illinois. Oh, it's Springwood, Ohio. Okay, sorry, just derailed a little bit there. They said Springfield, Illinois. I think Springfield isn't it The Simpsons? Oh, that was wrong too. Springfield, Oregon. What? I guess what show is... Why does it sound so familiar though? But... Springwood. Really? Is it really Springwood? I always thought it was Springfield. I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. I thought it was Springwood, Ohio. Interesting. Guess I was wrong. Been wrong this whole time. Very sad case. I mean, damn. 80 years old. How the hell is she? 76-year-old woman. This is the first case. Second case, she's 80. How? I mean, and it was pretty brutal too. Just don't know, but why? Like, why? Why did he do that? Mind you, he was already imprisoned because of that first case that I mentioned. Why was he out? I don't know. No. All right, we have 2 more cases. We're going to Indiana. True Crime Daily says Indiana man convicted of killing 3 people execution style. Published August 30th, 2023. This is in Lebanon, Indiana. A jury convicted a 42-year-old man this week of killing 3 people by shooting them all in the head inside an apartment in 2021. According to the Lebanon Reporter, Chad Grimball was convicted of 3 counts of murder and carrying a handgun without a license for fatally shooting a 42-year-old man named Larry Beaker Stogsdill, 20-year-old Brandon Martin, and 19-year-old Grace Bishop. Martin was Stogsdill's son and Bishop was Martin's fiancé. They were all shot with a .40 caliber handgun. Lebanon police responded to 403 East Walnut Street on September 8, 2023, after receiving reports about 3 deceased individuals. Police said they all died from a single gunshot wound, and their manner of death was homicide. Police served an arrest warrant on Grimball on December 8, 2021, though he had already been in custody since October for a firearm-related offense. The 3 victims were shot in the head due to an ongoing feud with one of the victims and Grimball's friend, according to WXIN TV. The Lebanon Reporter says Grimball and his girlfriend discarded the gun following the shooting and burned his clothing. Prosecutors argued Grimball worked alongside a man in jail named Jonathan Thompson, who abused Stogsdill's daughter, and the 3 victims got into a fight with Thompson. He reportedly said the victims told other inmates lies about Thompson, so he asked Grimball to make your presence known at the Walnut Street apartment. Grimball reportedly told Thompson shortly before the killings, "I'm fixing to rid you of your problems." Grimball will be sentenced September 26. Wow. I wonder if it was actually confirmed that person, like Jonathan Thompson, actually did, abuse Stogsdill's daughter. Whole situation is just pretty horrible. Let's see. We are checking out Fox59.com. This is in Indianapolis. Court docs feud involving jailed man fueled Lebanon triple slaying. Murder charges filed. This was published pretty long time ago. This was December 8th, 2021. So we are going to go back in time. Let's see what they have to say. The video's right on top of me, but they don't have another, I guess, bigger one here. So this will have to do. Here, I'll put it up a little more. And don't mind my big forehead. Just watch the video. Ooh, these people with these volumes. Wow. No respect for our ears at fucking all.
Is Fox 59 first at 4.
Right now,
You would think Rupert Murdoch would invest a little bit more in the audio that Fox uses. It's like that other website that we just saw now. They really need to get some people to work on their production, audio production, because it's really important. You're putting this out to the public, yet it's unbearably loud. I mean, I don't know if you can see how much I've lowered the volume already. What is it, like 21% right now? 22%? And it's still pretty loud.
Right now, first at 4, this man is in Boone County is under arrest this afternoon. He is charged in connection with a triple homicide in Lebanon.
The suspect is facing 3 counts of murder along with various weapons charges. It is our top story, first at 4.
Fox 59's Jesse Wells takes us back to that scene with new details now on what led to this violence. Jesse.
According to this 46-page affidavit, prosecutors have a lot of physical evidence connecting the suspect to the scene here at this apartment building. But so far, the accused killer has denied any involvement in the triple murder. In early September, Lebanon police were called to an apartment on East Walnut and found 3 people shot to death. The bodies of the victims, Larry Stogsdill Jr., also known as Beaker, his son, Brandon Martin, and Martin's girlfriend, Grace Bishop, were found in 3 different rooms, all shot in the head.
The family and I are really pleased about how much work and dedication, these cops and detectives have put into this investigation.
In fact, according to this affidavit, police spoke to numerous people, including multiple witnesses, who saw Chad Grimble leaving the building around the time of the murders. DNA on a cigarette inside the apartment also allegedly matched Grimble. A bloody shoe print matched the tread on his shoe, and cell phone records placed him near the scene that night, all according to court records. Prosecutors believe the triple slaying stems from an ongoing feud between one of the victims and a friend of the suspect, who is already behind bars at the Boone County Jail. During a series of recorded phone calls, the man in jail told the alleged shooter people are accusing him of cooperating with police, and he believed the victim was behind the rumors. The affidavit claims just 50 hours before the homicides, Grimble was recorded as saying, "I'm fixing to rid you of your problem. I'll fix it." For their part, the victim's family just hopes Grimble is held accountable for the 3 deaths.
We're a little pleased about going into the holidays. It's going to be hard.
Finally, the prosecutor would not comment on the case today, but says he is still evaluating whether or not to seek the death penalty. In the meantime, Grimble is being held without bond at the Boone County Jail. Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
Damn. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him the death penalty, to be quite honest with you. Only because all 3 of them were killed execution style. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Alright, we're going to Florida. True Crime Daily. It says a Florida man allegedly stuffed baby wipe down his 2-month-old throat, killing her. Oh boy. Published August 30th, 2023. This is in Vero Beach, Florida. And it says, deputies arrested a 30-year-old man for allegedly choking his infant daughter to death by stuffing a baby wipe down her throat and restricting her airways. In a statement, the Indian River County Sheriff's Office said deputies went to Joseph Napier's house May 28th, 2021, after responding to a call we never want to receive regarding an unresponsive 2-month-old. The dispatcher guided Napier through CPR while the fire department and deputies made their way to his residence on 6th Avenue in Vero Beach. When deputies arrived, they found Napier and his daughter, who was turning blue. The responding deputy performed CPR on the little girl and quickly moved her to an ambulance, but she passed away. According to the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, Napier told deputies his daughter started choking and he noticed a small white object in the back of her mouth. He claimed he left the 2-month-old alone with her 18-month-old sister on a couch for about 10 minutes. He allegedly said when he returned, the infant was choking and in distress. His timeline of events reportedly stated he waited 5 minutes before dialing 911, but investigators determined he actually spent 30 minutes on his phone prior to calling. The statement said a baby wipe was removed from deep within the infant's throat during an exam, which caused her to stop breathing. The sheriff's office said, based on all of the evidence gathered and in consultation with medical physicians, it was determined that the only person present at the time of the incident that could have placed the wipe that deep in the child's throat was Joseph Napier. Following a 2-year investigation, Napier was arrested August 24th and booked into the Indian River County Jail on a manslaughter charge. A judge set his bond at $750,000. Why isn't that first degree? I'm confused. Why is it a manslaughter charge? Why not like full blown like first degree murder? Like you intentionally did that. It's a 2-month-old. 60 days. 62. It's like what, like 30, 31 if you want to be a dick about it. Yeah, that's where we are in the world. This is it. And like, come on now. Why aren't there ads and shit about, if you're not prepared to have a child, don't have it? Because I feel like people don't grasp the immense responsibility that a child, it's a human being, it's a person. Two months. I mean, wow. That's insane. It's a 2-month-old. They don't have a video, so we can't really see anything about it. I don't know what to say. And then he tried to blame the other child that was there. That's 18 months. It's a year and a half old? So you literally wanted to say that a 1.5-year-old stuffed a baby wipe down a 2-month-old's mouth enough to have that baby choke. A 1.5-year-old kid can barely talk. You feel me? Hasn't even reached that, what is it called, like the terrible twos, and that is who you were blaming for. Gotcha. Understood. Yeah, we'll read a few more. I have those. I said there were 3 left on the front page. We'll read about 3 or 4 more. Some of these I already read through in the last episode. Yeah. We're going to New York City. True Crime Daily. 2 adults, 2 young children found fatally stabbed inside New York City apartment. This was published August 29th, 2023, and it says, a family of 4, including 2 children under the age of 3, were found deceased inside an Upper West Side apartment this week with stab wounds. NBC New York reports on Monday, August 28th, at approximately 3 p.m., New York Police Department officers went to a 4th-floor apartment on West 86th Street near Riverside Drive and West End Avenue to conduct a welfare check on a family. A relative tried to open the door into the apartment, but it was locked. He drilled holes into the door and then called police. Police entered the apartment and found 41-year-old Edison Lopez, 40-year-old Alexandra Wittek, 3-year-old Lucian Lopez, and 1-year-old Calvin Lopez deceased from apparent stab wounds. Investigators reportedly located 3 knives they believed were involved in the fatal stabbings, which police believe could be a murder-suicide. Edison Lopez and Alexandra Wittek were married, and Lucian and Calvin were their children. The New York Times reports Edison Lopez was the superintendent for the building. Wittek was reportedly found inside the hallway, and Lopez was in a bedroom with one of the knives near him on the bed. According to WPIX-TV, Lopez reportedly accepted a job at a new building in Westchester County and was getting ready to move. WPIX reports police do not think there are any additional suspects. Wow. That's crazy. It used to be my neighborhood back in the day, growing up. Insane. Let's see. Oh man, they don't have a video. Maybe it's this one? This is a PIX11.com. Hopefully the video that's right on top of my head is a video related to this case. Sometimes they post videos next to the titles that don't have anything to do with the case that we just read and whatnot.
It's like 20. I always thought he was a really good guy. I'm telling you, I noticed since he was like 20 years old. Always smiling, always hello.
Residents of this Upper West Side co-op at 328 West 86th Street were having such a tough time accepting the tragic discovery in apartment 4B during a wellness check just before 3 p.m. Monday. Police say a 41-year-old man, his 40-year-old wife, and their two young sons, ages 3 and 1, were all found dead with multiple stab wounds. Police say there were no signs of forced entry and they are not looking for any suspects. It's believed to be a murder-suicide.
Hardworking, even-tempered guy.
I don't know about that.
Good-natured.
Neighbors say the adult male found dead is the super in the apartment building who had recently given his notice to take another job as a super in Westchester. Neighbors say he and his growing family were currently living in the one-bedroom super's apartment. The new job came with a 3-bedroom apartment.
He was just this lovely, lovely person. Just this sweet, gentle, lovely person. I mean, I would see him every day.
Many people who live on this block of West 86th Street near Riverside Drive had known the dead man for decades because his father had been the super in the building before him, and they say they saw no signs of this tragic ending.
It's too horrible. Sorry.
And police have yet to release the names of the 4 family members found dead in the apartment building behind me.
Damn. That is crazy, especially considering me specifically. That I used to walk around there a lot. Crazy. I think that there's a part of the story that has not been told yet. Maybe with further investigations they'll be able to figure out what happens, but that does not sound like a murder-suicide. I mean, I'm not law enforcement investigator or anything. I'm just merely someone interested in true crime, but given all the other cases that we've seen and talked about, this seems very suspicious. It seems very suspicious. There's more to it than meets the eye. And I feel like this was like a revenge. I don't know. Seems to me like it was someone in the building. If it would be my best guess would probably be the owner. Well, I don't know about the owner of the building, but someone involved in that, because the fact that he was leaving and maybe they had been there for such a long time. I mean, who knows? Or maybe it was a disgruntled tenant. I hope we get more information about this and police find out who it was. There has to be some type of camera or something that could have picked up on who could have potentially committed this crime, because it's 4 people total, 2 children and 2 adults. It's a whole family. Yeah, I hope justice is served and we're able to figure out who it is, because it's crazy. Alrighty, move on to the next one. We are going to Washington, D.C. True Crime Daily. Title says, a 16-year-old fatally stabbed in D.C. during fight about McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. Published August 29th, 2023. And it says, a 16-year-old was arrested over the weekend for allegedly stabbing and killing another teen during a fight at a McDonald's that started over sauces. On Sunday, August 27th, at 2:10 a.m., Metropolitan D.C. police officers responded to a local hospital after receiving a call about a juvenile with stab wounds. The victim, who police identified as 16-year-old Naima Ligon, passed away at the hospital from her injuries. Police began investigating and concluded Ligon was stabbed outside a restaurant on the 1900 block of 14th Street Northwest. Ligon was reportedly driven to the hospital in a private vehicle and not an ambulance. Police located the suspect and said she was found to be in possession of a knife. They arrested her on a charge of second-degree murder while armed. According to WTOP-TV, Ligon, the suspect, and other friends commuted into D.C. from their hometown in Maryland for a party and later stopped at the McDonald's on U and 14th Street Northwest. A Metro Police detective testified at juvenile court that an argument broke out inside the car about sweet and sour sauce. The suspect and Ligon reportedly got out of the car, and the suspect stabbed her in the abdomen and chest. The teen suspect's defense attorney reportedly argued the girl stabbed Ligon in self-defense because Ligon and another teen beat her up. The judge reportedly accepted the prosecutor's charges of second-degree murder while armed, assault with intent to kill while armed, aggravated assault while armed, felony assault, possession of a prohibited weapon, and carrying a dangerous weapon. WUSA-TV reports Ligon's family wrote in a statement, Naima was a beautiful, smart, funny, and unique young lady who loved life. She was loved and admired by so many people. Naima loved music and the arts, basketball, and she was shaping up to be a master barber. She had just been hired to work at Krispy Kreme as a donut specialist and was preparing to get her driver's license. The statement continued, the impact of this senseless loss has affected our family, our friends, and our community. Naima will never see her prom or her graduation. We will not get to see her graduate from college or get married or have kids. Her family urged others to love on your kids and to make sure they know they are loved when they walk out your door, because you never know if that may be the last time you see them. WTOP reports the suspect will remain in the DC Youth Services Center until her detention status hearing September 1st. Very nonsensical. That is insane. People really need to definitely chill with, taking these emotions to another limit. It's just not worth it. Because it not only is the 16-year-old no longer in the world and won't ever get to experience any of the things that were described there, but also the person that committed the crime is now a criminal. This isn't juvenile right now, but if then she's tried, she could be tried as an adult, depending on what stage she is. I think isn't like the age that you could start getting tried as an adult is like 16. So it's crazy. A little side note, Naima is a very beautiful name that is famous because of John Coltrane. So just wanted to throw that out there. Not many people are jazz fans, but if you are a jazz fan, you already knew that. If you don't, but at least you know that it was because of a jazz. The name was made more popular because of a jazz song that has that same name. Let's see if we can check out some news. Too many things. Too many pop-ups that are unnecessary. All right, we are checking out WUSA9.com. This is Washington, D.C. It's 83 degrees there. Very nice. It's like 70-something. It's like 71 here in Northern California. 72 tops, which is like extremely weird, but yeah. Apparently it's supposed to be rainy today, but sorry, nonetheless. Just wanted to give you that information. Let's check out this video.
According to testimony late today in juvenile court here in D.C., this was 5 friends, all of them girls, riding in a car after a night out in D.C. They'd gone to the McDonald's at 14th and U Northwest about 2 in the morning Sunday and were back in the car when an argument between teenage friends from Waldorf broke out over sweet and sour sauce. The fight that followed spilled out of the car in front of the McDonald's, and that's when 16-year-old Naima Ligon of Waldorf was stabbed twice by another 16-year-old girl from Waldorf. The two were friends, according to the MPD detective who testified today. Ligon was taken by the other girls to nearby Howard University Hospital, where she died. The suspect was stopped by police walking alone a block away from the stabbing scene and had a black folding knife in her possession. Ligon's heartbroken family released photos of her with her mother. A neighbor spoke to us today about the murdered teen.
Beautiful, very intelligent young girl. My son's only from here, so he's impacted by this, and I would imagine all the rest of the kids in the neighborhood are as well.
All of this happened on the eve of today's first day of school at Thomas Stone High School in Waldorf. The principal there called Ligon's death a tragedy that has left the school heartbroken. Outside D.C. Superior Court, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
All right, Scott, thank you. And Ligon's family sent us this statement about an hour ago.
And it reads, and we're quoting here, "If I had one message for parents, it's love on your kids. Make sure they know they are loved when they walk out your door, because you never know if that's the last time, or if you know that that may be the last time you see them. We love you, Naima, and we'll miss her incredibly, and she left a lasting imprint on our hearts." That statement goes on to say, "I pray for our family and for her friends, and also for the family of the young lady who took her life."
Ma'am, very nice statement. Very true. All right, I appreciate you being here so far with me. Thank you very much. I think we already talked about this. All right. We're going to North Carolina. True Crime Daily says a man arrested for allegedly fatally shooting University of North Carolina faculty member. This was published August 29th, 2023. This is in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And it says, a 34-year-old man was arrested Monday after he allegedly shot and killed an associate professor in a lab on the University of North Carolina campus. On Monday, August 28th, at 1:02 p.m., University of North Carolina police received a 911 call about shots fired in Caudill Laboratory near the center of campus. UNC Police Chief Brian James said the school issued an emergency alert and siren at 1:04 p.m. When officers arrived at Caudill Laboratory, they found one person fatally shot. According to Brian, that was the only fatality and no one else was injured. Witnesses described the shooter, and at 2:31 p.m., police located the suspect and took him into custody. Brian said the weapons have not been located and a motive remains unknown. Campus remains on lockdown for several hours following the arrest. UNC Chancellor Kevin Goskowitz said at the press conference, "Their loss is devastating, and the shooting damages the trust and safety that we so often take for granted in our campus community." In a statement, Goskowitz identified the victim as Dr. Siji Yang, an associate professor in the Department of Applied Physical Sciences. Goskowitz described Yan as a beloved colleague, mentor, and friend to many on our campus. He had been with the university since 2019. NBC News reports the suspect, Taylor Kui, was charged with first-degree murder and possessing a gun on an educational property. Kui started at UNC in January 2022 as a graduate student and research assistant in Yan's department. He reportedly wrote an academic paper with Yan that was recently published. According to his faculty page, Yan researched optical trapping and manipulation, holography, microfluidics, and electronic and nanomaterials. Kui appeared in court Tuesday, August 29th, where a judge denied him bond. If convicted, he faces life in prison without parole. He could be eligible for the death penalty, but Orange County District Attorney Jeff Neiman said he will not seek it. I don't know. I'm curious to kind of find out what happened there. Like, why? I wonder what caused it, because they wrote a paper together. Maybe it had something to do with some sort of friction that there was because of that paper, or maybe one person was taking credit and the other one was jealous of it, or I don't know. There's so many different things. Again, once you start watching these true crime cases and you start reading about it, like watching documentaries and shit, you become a skeptic when you read into these sort of cases and you start asking questions. It's as if the inner detective comes out and is trying to figure out an answer. So, I mean, as soon as I started reading, I was just thinking in my head, I think this sounds very weird, and it goes to show that it doesn't matter. You know, it could be from the most uneducated person in the world to an extremely rich person that has multiple businesses and is highly regarded in this community. Everyone is capable of committing a crime. That's basically the main point of, you know, this whole case. That very sad, and you know, years and years and years of research and studying, and all ends because of some asshole. That sucks. All right, let's check out. Oh, I see. That's why that happened. No. Wow, I can't even believe that. Is it both of them? Oh, okay, cool.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for your patience as we work through today's events. My name is Kevin Best. I'm the Senior Director of Media Relations here at Chapel Hill. We have a number of...
Sorry.
You see all these...
Okay, here's the thing. The image that we saw really quickly there, it's before it said if I wanted to join or whatever the hell it was. I've been seeing that picture floating around, and I saw, I think it was like Roland Martin or someone talking about it, but I didn't connect. I didn't connect the fact that it was at UNC, which is the University of North Carolina, and this is where this happened. I saw the text messages that were sent. I think that the text messages that were sent that day were used as a front cover for the New York Times. Okay. So see, this is the image. That's the image that I had been seeing for quite some time now. But okay, there you go. So it's the Daily Tar Heel. I'm sorry, I thought it was the New York Times or something. But now, I'm gonna zoom into this picture, and you're gonna understand why I thought it was the New York Times. Because they completely copied their font. So when I saw this posted on TikTok, I thought, oh yeah, this is the New York Times. That's why I assumed it was them, but it's not. It's just like this company, the Daily Tar Heel. They just copied the same font that the New York Times uses. But this is what I'm talking about. This is which is by now I'm understanding, connecting the dots that, you know, I had seen this, but it was in regards to the case that we just read about. And I know that, but yeah, they used the text messages that the students sent their family members as front page for the the newspaper that was published Wednesday, August 30th, 2023. Crazy. I do not know. Let's see what this person has to
Cops
say.
and you see, I mean, this is just the way we live now. Like, what? How do you diagnose this?
Well, I mean, in my whole time at UNC, I've never seen anything like this before, so it's not something I would have expected or something, but it's definitely a very rattling moment. I mean, there's so many people here, we just so many texts all the time. You hear things from many different people, so it's just scary, I guess, to not know what's going on.
Interesting. And again, it's all because of that image of the students jumping out of the window. Or going out of the window. I'm not going to say jump, because that sounds... it sounds like they were literally actually jumping from a window. All right. We're heading to Nevada. True Crime Daily. Title says, Missouri woman arrested after her 95-year-old father's remains were found in a homemade coffin. Published August 29th, 2023. This is in Pahrump, Nevada. And it says, a 53-year-old woman was arrested in Missouri last week after investigators in Nevada found her elderly father's remains buried in a yard. According to the Nye County Sheriff's Office, on August 25th, deputies executed a search warrant at a home on Peggy Avenue to look for human remains on the property. Investigators excavated part of the backyard and discovered 95-year-old Bruce Brown's remains in a homemade coffin under the ground. Brown had not been seen or heard from since April, which is when investigators started looking into the case. Brown's daughter, Janice Walker, was taken into custody in Kansas City, Missouri on a larceny charge. The Nye County Sheriff's Office said Walker refused to cooperate in the investigation, and they executed the search warrant following the arrest in Kansas City. She will be extradited back to Nevada. Investigators allege Walker continued to cash her father's Social Security and VA benefits after he died. The sheriff's office said they received information that she had buried Brown, her father, in the desert. Shame. Wow. Okay, we read this one. Alrighty. We are heading to Minnesota. True Crime Daily. Title says, a Minnesota woman sentenced to shooting friend in the mouth because she didn't want her in her life. Published August 28th, 2023, and this is in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And it says, a judge has sentenced a woman to 25 years in prison for fatally shooting her friend in the mouth and promoting prostitution while she was in jail. The Stearns County District Attorney's Office announced August 24th that Angela Renee Jones was given 300 months, which is 25 years, in prison for the shooting death of Janisa Harris, 146 months for aiding an offender after the fact, and 131 months for promotion of prostitution, all of which will be served concurrently. Jones pleaded guilty to the charges on June 9th. Jones was initially indicted in December 2021 for first-degree premeditated murder and second-degree intentional murder. According to the district attorney's office, on the evening of June 1st and into the early hours of June 2nd, 2021, Jones went to Janisa Harris's apartment. The two had a prior relationship, and the statement says Harris also cared for Jones and her children. Jones reportedly told Harris she did not want Harris to be around her or in her life. During their argument, Jones shot Harris in the mouth, and Harris died in her apartment. On September 3rd, 2021, at around 9:30 a.m., St. Cloud police responded to a report of an unconscious person in the street and found a deceased adult female. The body was later identified as 25-year-old Kaysa Marie Langs, and the medical examiner's office determined she died from a gunshot wound. One of Jones' co-defendants, Deontay Davis, was charged and convicted of killing Lang. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The Stearns County District Attorney's Office said Jones played a role in Lang's death, as did another woman who allegedly drove Davis, Jones, and Lang before Lang was fatally shot and left on the side of the road. While in jail, Jones reportedly also coordinated an arrangement where a fellow inmate would exchange sex for money with Jones's husband. Damn. Value of life, huh? That went out the window with this case. Crazy. Alrighty, we're heading to Oklahoma. True Crime Daily. Title says, teen killed, several others injured during shooting at Oklahoma high school football game. Published August 28th, 2023, and this is in Choctaw, Oklahoma. It says, a 16-year-old was fatally shot and others were injured Friday evening during a high school football game. In a statement, the Choctaw Police Department said the shooting broke out in the visitor side of the stadium during the third quarter of a game between Choctaw High School and Del City High School in what police believe was an argument between at least two males. A 16-year-old male, who KFOR-TV identified as Corday Carter, was shot in the groin and later died from his injuries. Choctaw Police said Carter was not a student at either Choctaw or Del City High School. A 42-year-old man also sustained a gunshot wound to the chest, and he was transported to the Oklahoma University Trauma Center, where he underwent surgery for most of the night. He is reportedly in stable condition now. A 15-year-old girl was shot in the thigh, and two other teens were treated for a broken wrist and broken leg, which they sustained while trying to escape. According to Choctaw Police, investigators located 2 guns and 8 rounds at the scene. Police identified a person of interest as a tall black male wearing red sweatpants. In a news conference, Monday, August 28th, the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office said an off-duty Del City police officer shot the 42-year-old man in the chest because he perceived a threat. The Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office is investigating the officer-involved shooting and said the nature of that perceived threat is still under investigation. Choctaw Police are investigating the incident leading to Carter's killing. Damn. Is this a video? Or is it literally just a still image of the sheriff? Oh, okay, this is a video. This is at KFOR.com. Title says, investigation update into deadly shooting at Oklahoma high school football game. This was posted August 28th, 2023.
The only part of the investigation his office is involved with is about that off-duty Del City police officer. They say Friday night he and another off-duty officer were working security. That's when one of them fired his service weapon, hitting a 42-year-old in the chest.
The officer received or perceived some sort of threat, but it's important to stress we're still very early on in the investigation and can't comment further on what the officer perceived.
This is a critical incident. He's experiencing some of the same things the public was there experiencing, the other officers experiencing. So I need him time to decompress and also be ready to interview with the sheriff's office and cooperate fully.
Now, the officer who fired his gun, along with the other officer that was working security with him, are now on paid administrative leave. And as you heard, they are waiting to talk to them, but they will be talking to them soon. Meanwhile, the sheriff's office is working on getting video from the school district, as well as putting up a link on their website so witnesses can submit any video or pictures they may have to help them in their investigation. We're live in Oklahoma City. Caitlin Ogle, Oklahoma's News 4.
Yeesh. Wow. Mind you, this is a football game. Probably a lot of families there. Crazy. I don't know, the list of places where shootings have happened, it's getting pretty tight. That have not happened, sorry. It's getting pretty tight. Yeah, it's just like, I can't even think of some, like a place where you could go to that a shooting has not happened in some place of the country. Crazy. All right, we have 2 more cases, and this time, well, let me see. 3 more cases to go. We'll end with this one here. It looks interesting. We're going to Georgia. True Crime Daily. Georgia mom's remains are positively identified 2 years after she went missing. Published August 28th, 2023. And this is in Meriwether County, Georgia. Law enforcement officials positively identified the remains found in a rural area as a 26-year-old woman who went missing in 2021. According to the Meriwether County Sheriff's Office, Olivia Fowler was reported missing August 14th, 2021, after she was last seen the day before at approximately 10:30 a.m. on Pebblebrook Road. In December 2022, officials searching a rural area received an alert about the discovery of possible human remains. Officials collected the remains and sent them to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Crime Lab to be positively identified. In an update last week, the Meriwether County Sheriff's Office announced DNA testing matched the remains to Fowler. The Sheriff's Office said the investigation into her disappearance and death remains ongoing. Sheriff Chuck Smith said in the press release, "Our focus now is to allow the family to grieve. The family requests that they be allowed to properly grieve this recent news and to be supportive of them during this difficult time. The family would like the public to know that Olivia was not only a mother, but a daughter, a sister, a grandchild, and an important member of the Fowler family." Obviously, it's not the best news that you would want to receive. The best one would be that they would have found some semblance of her alive, but with the acceptance of the events that happened, the fact that this brings, and I mentioned it before in past true crime episodes, and it probably be a recurring theme in each episode that I do whenever we see any cases like this, but it's just bringing some sort of comfort to the family and the fact that they can now grieve it without the confusion that comes with not knowing, not having answers. I don't think it's so much obviously what happened, but it's the fact that for such a long time they just didn't have an answer to it. So I don't know, it's just in my own personal opinion, I think that sliver of false hope, because you don't have the answers, causes that confusion. But I don't know, at least when we read about cases like this, again, within all the bad, you can at least have some sort of closure when it comes to the grief part of it. Now comes, an even deeper investigation into what happened, because now we have a name to associate, the remains to. So now it's like doors have opened and they can further investigate things, and hopefully there'll be a suspect. Because as of this point right now, with the article that we just read, it's just the remains that were found and that were identified. Crazy. All right, moving on to the next case. We're going to Jacksonville. Title says, "Gunman in Jacksonville kills 3 in racially motivated shooting on anniversary of March in Washington." Published August 28th, 2023, and this is in Jacksonville, Florida. And it says, "A gunman opened fire in a Dollar General over the weekend, killing 3 people and himself in what law enforcement said was racially motivated crime." According to Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters, on Saturday, August 26th, at 12:48 p.m., the suspect pulled into the parking lot at Edward Waters University in a Honda Element and put on a bulletproof vest. Edward Waters University is a historically black college and was the first of its kind established in Florida. Minutes later, a school security officer pulled into the same parking lot and followed him as the suspect drove away. The security guard contacted the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to report a suspicious man on campus and started drafting a BOLO, which is a be on the lookout, for the suspect's car. While doing that, the shooting started at Dollar General. The man was armed with a Glock handgun and an AR-15 style rifle. WJXT-TV reports one of the firearms had swastikas drawn on it. At 1:08 p.m., an 11-round shot spotter alert went out when the shooter fired rounds into a black Kia in the parking lot, killing 52-year-old Angela Carr. He walked into the store and fatally shot 19-year-old AJ Laguerre as he tried to run to safety. Other people inside exited out a back door to safety. The suspect, who the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office identified as 21-year-old Ryan Christopher Palmeter, aimed at security cameras but missed. At 1:10 p.m., Gerald Gallion and his girlfriend walked into Dollar General, and Palmeter shot him 3 minutes later. His girlfriend managed to escape. The suspect fired rounds out the back door where other customers went, but Waters said no one else was struck by gunfire. At 1:14 p.m., the suspect walked into an office and texted his father saying, "Use a screwdriver to get into my room." The father walked in and found the suspect's last will and testament, as well as a suicide note typed out on his computer. Deputies arrived minutes later after the shot spotter alert went out, and as they walked into Dollar General, they heard a single gunshot. Waters said he believes that is when Palmeter shot himself. SWAT officers confirmed at 3:44 p.m. the suspect was deceased. Waters said he purchased all the firearms legally. In an earlier news conference, Waters said all 3 victims are black. Palmeter reportedly wrote 3 manifestos, one to his parents, one to the media, and one to federal agents. Waters said the writings detail the shooter's disgusting ideology of hate. He added, "Plainly put, this shooting was racially motivated. He wanted to kill black people." Waters said he was not part of a larger white supremacist group and that he acted alone. Waters described the manifestos as the diary of a madman. He lived with his parents in Clay County, and Waters said his parents did not want him in their house. He was detained on a Baker Act in 2017, which is a 72-hour hold for mental health purposes. One point of eligibility to be held on a Baker Act is if there is a substantial likelihood that without care or treatment, the person will cause serious bodily harm to himself, or others in the near future, as evidenced by recent behavior. The mass shooting in Jacksonville occurred the same day as the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, commemorating Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Waters said, "We stand united against all forms of hate." I mean, if you haven't heard about this case, then you probably don't watch the news. This has been talked about for a few days now. And, yeah, there's a lot of TikTok videos about it. I don't know, man. Racism is weird. It's not only is it like disgusting and just like completely out of place, but on top of that, it's just it's lazy and it's I don't know. I mean, listen, I've had my fair share of experiences with racism, and all I can say is my own personal opinion says more about the person doing it than me, who's the person receiving it. It's gotten to a point where I give 2 shits. I don't really care. Like, it's just I'm about racist things that are said to me, which, you know, again, I've had my fair share of it. It's weird because you do all this and it's just like this whole like you're like fixated on race and shit, and I think you fail to realize that like, we all rot the same at the end of the day. I'm confused. Is it different? Because we all die the same. It's the same procedure. We go through the same thing, and you rot in the same way. You piss and poop like everyone else. So it just fucking confuses me very, very much. And it's not only disgusting, but it's like irrational. We're 2023 and we're still having to deal with situations like this. People still have to deal with other people's racism and just pure hate. That shit is lazy as fuck. Whatever, man. I hope the family is able to get some sort of peace. Families that were affected by this. And yeah, it's gonna take us human beings a very long time to be able to break this chain of racism and racially motivated things. Like it's I don't understand human beings sometimes. We're fucking weird. And that dude's a bitch. That dude's a bitch, because if you're gonna if you did all this, you could have at least faced the consequences to it. But like a bitch, he killed himself. Just like there's a lot of other shootings that happen and they kill themselves because they're bitches. They're weak human beings that inflict harm upon others, but then don't even have the energy to be able to face it and say what you did. If you were audacious enough to commit the crimes, commit those murders, just face the consequences with your chest. Keep that same energy. But no, they go ahead and they kill themselves like bitches. Like a little bitch. Alright, moving on. We're going to read our last case of the day. And your boy's going to go eat. I'm hungry. We're going to New York City. True Crime Daily. Title says, New York City woman pleads guilty to shoving 87-year-old Broadway vocal coach and killing her. Published August 25th, 2023. And it says, a woman was arrested last year for shoving an 87-year-old Broadway vocal coach onto the ground. And she pleaded guilty to charges relating to the elderly woman's death. On Wednesday, August 23rd, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg announced Lauren Pazienza entered the plea for one count of first-degree manslaughter for killing Barbara Gustern. Pazienza will be sentenced in September to 8 years in state prison with 5 years of post-release supervision. Pazienza was initially charged in May 2022 with first-degree manslaughter and second-degree assault, according to the district attorney's office. On March 10th, 2022, Pazienza was walking on West 28th Street when she crossed the street, shouted obscenities at Miss Gustern, and then intentionally shoved her to the ground. Pazienza walked away following the attack, but remained in the area for about 20 minutes. Gustern fell on her head, which resulted in a massive hemorrhage. She was rushed to a nearby hospital, where she became unconscious and put on life support. She died 5 days later. Following the push, Pazienza got into a physical fight with her fiancé, then watched the ambulance take Gustern away. Pazienza and her fiancé rode the subway to their apartment in Astoria, Queens, and she confessed to shoving Gustern. After getting rid of her social media profiles and wedding site, she went to Long Island to stay with family. Pazienza later turned herself in to a New York Police Department precinct. Bragg said in the press release, Lauren Pazienza aggressively shoved Barbara Gustern to the ground and walked away as the beloved New Yorker lay there bleeding. Today's plea holds Pazienza accountable for her deadly actions. We continue to mourn the loss of Barbara Gustern, a talented musical theater performer and vocal coach who touched so many in New York City and beyond. Damn, she walked away, huh? Okay. Ballsy. Oh, look, this is pictures of her when she, I guess during that same day when she had committed the crime. Wah, wah. Dude, once you make it to Crime Stoppers, it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before someone rats your location out, and because I think they have like money involved in that. So like if you give them information, they give you like money. And let me tell you something: if anyone that's close to me in my own circle ever does anything like that, and they make it to Crime Stoppers, you best believe I am going to be calling them and I'm going to be cashing that money in. 100%. I won't even think about that shit twice. Hell, take out the money. I will rat on you so quick, it's not even funny, bro. I don't, not, this isn't Dexter. I will definitely do it. Bill Burr says that, and that's always stuck with me. Yeah, this isn't Dexter. I'm not Dexter's dad. Yeah, I'm not that type of friend, bro. I will call the cops on you. I will most definitely snitch on you, if that's what you want to call it. 100%. 100. And worst thing is that you would think that I would not be capable of doing that. That's your fault. That seems like a problem on your end, because I don't play those games. And I hope that if I were to ever commit a crime, that people call those cops on me in a heartbeat. Don't even think about it. I mean, we read a case today. The mom, the guy is a 30-something-year-old man, raped the 14-year-old, his 14-year-old stepdaughter, and his wife, his mother, and her his mom's boyfriend came up with an elaborate plan to help him escape from jail that included shooting into the prison and 2 jet skis that they rode, I guess, like up or down the Mississippi River up to some point, and left it there, and then they fled, and they were out for 1 whole year before they were recently incarcerated. Yeah. 100% I'll do it. 100%. No doubt about it. You know where to find me. King Angel Show, parent channel, sub channels, true crime, Coffee the News and Us. I'm all across social media. X, Threads. I hate that X thing. It sounds so damn weird. It sounds like fucking describing like a porn site or something. So, but rest assured, I'm talking about X. It's formerly known as Twitter. It's weird. Join the Discord, King Angel Show. You can find the links in the description box of this YouTube video, or if you're on Twitch, you can find it in the About section. Let's continue the conversation there. I will be watching some stuff there this afternoon, either a movie or true crime. Let's have a discussion. Let's have an argument. Let's have a debate. Let's communicate. Let's have a conversation. Let's be entertained together. I can play video games too. You can play them as well. We can play together. That's over on Discord, the King Angel Show. If you want to further support me, I have a Patreon. It's $2 a month. I would love for you to join that community. It's the King Angel Show as well. You get access to all 3 segments, review reaction videos that are exclusive to Patreon members, private Discord channels for Patreon members only. You get like channel points for on Twitch, monthly channel points, because it's not only that one time. Gotta keep it real. I'm hungry. All right, it's 12:30 here. I'm hungry. You can use your Amazon Prime on Twitch as well, or you can follow me there. YouTube, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Like my videos, comment on them. Let me know what you think. King Angel Show is the parent channel. We have the other 2 channels, which are True Crime and Coffee the News and Us. Dude, yesterday's episode of Coffee the News and Us was amazing. I had an amazing time. Definitely check it out. I am going to be uploading it to the Coffee the News and Us channel, so follow me there. I only have like three followers at this point. It's a fairly new channel. I've only uploaded 2 videos, but I'm trying to work all of them into a good flow of things. Plus I work and I have like a whole bunch of other responsibilities, so it's a good challenge for me, which I am very much willing to do, and I'm looking forward to it. I like keeping myself busy doing things that I love, but who doesn't? It's not like a unique thing to me. So yeah, Patreon, Discord, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, X. It's overwhelming. You need to stop it. Instagram too, bro. At this point, I might as well just open up an OnlyFans too, just to complete the whole thing. take it easy. Have a very wonderful day. Have a very great weekend. Take it easy this weekend. Stay safe. And if you're incarcerated, establish dominance. Have a great Labor Day. Oh, I'll see you on Labor Day, because I'm going to go live for Coffee, the News, and Us and True Crime. But yeah, take it easy. Peace out. And make good choices. Peace.